would be a really good time to have a football. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to be talking about Safety. Safety is a 2020 Disney Plus original release about a student athlete on scholarship at Clemson University named Ray having to take in his little brother when his mother goes into rehab and how he balances and juggles all of that. It is directed by Reginald Hudlin, cinematography by Shane Hurlbut, editing by Terel Gibson, music by Marcus Miller, and it's written by Nick Santora. It is based off a true story. The film stars Reeves as Ray, Thaddeus Mixson as Famar, and Corinne Foxx as Casey. The film was announced in July of 2019, started filming in September of 2019, and came out December 2020. Has an 80% Rotten Tomatoes consensus. Fans of uplifting sports dramas will find Safety in this skillfully told, fact-based story about an athlete overcoming adversity. It is, like I said, based on the true story. I can't really do like a blow-by-blow of what was like 100% accurate and what they took liberties with. I do know I've read, Ray did an AMA on Reddit when the movie was coming out. He and Famar were consultants on the movie, like they helped, and in the AMA, he says things like he has 7 siblings, he helped raise 3 of them. The adoption or taking custody of the others came after his time at Clemson, so my guess is because of Famar's age, he had to take, this situation. And he also talked about in the AMA a little bit about how he had wanted the movie to be able to dive in and talk about overcoming addiction, but there wasn't time. They were limited with what they had to do, but he seemed happy with the film. This had very good movement and framing right away in the beginning. It has stellar movement, thought out how it would happen in the edit and join these shots together, coordinated very well. It just is so, from the opening, higher quality, well done, just thorough, cohesive. It's so good visually. I love the edit here, if I'm so honest, especially in the beginning. They do a really great job in the beginning showing how overwhelming starting as a freshman at college can feel, especially if you're on scholarship as a student athlete, by showing he's got the practices, the classes, the game plans, the pressure, the scholarship commitment, 18 credit hours, just everything they pile on right at the beginning. And then they throw him having to take care of Famar on top of it. So excellent. The edit, I really felt in the beginning, my internal goody two-shoes student being oh my god, I'd feel like I have to get an A's and everything. Absolutely well done. The Disney logo opening did have a little variation on it. It was much more marching band like you would get at a college, and I really loved that. I thought that was fun. The actual music suits the film. I had no problems with the music. There were multiple moments where I was oh, it brought the emotion right there. Nothing stood out as ew, what are we doing here with this music? It fits the film very well done. I think they did an opening voiceover for this that was really clever. It wasn't a character giving a voiceover and then we don't hear it again. This movie opens, you're starting school, people are moving in, and you hear, it's obviously a very sports heavy school, it's very famous for their Clemson football team, and you hear a sports broadcaster talking about the season starting and all this kind of stuff. I thought it was really clever, a really good way to give expository information without it feeling unnatural or too much. Same went with, we're at the beginning of a school year, so teachers explaining certain things, coaches explaining certain things. That didn't feel out of place or too much. They're trying to give me too much expository information. It felt like we were in school with the students learning this information at the same time as them, which was so effective and a really great way to show how you can find a way to make it work within the environment and within the story. And I really loved that. The cringiest or the most that would take me out of it was dialogue between Casey and Ray. I think early scenes of them, especially later, fine, but early scenes of Casey and Ray had some of the cringiest dialogue. It wasn't as smooth or as realistic as the rest of the film, so their dialogue specifically would take me out a bit. But the rest of the movie, the story is solid, the dialogue is good, it is emotional. The team, you know, him not outing any of his teammates when he gets caught with Famar, but then his teammates taking the punishment with him and kind of outing themselves, and everyone kind of understanding that, like, all these people were helping him because they're a team, and, like, the beauty in that, the beauty in, like, his team being there for him and this, like, head captain guy having beef, but then, like, being like, hey, we're on the same team, I'd die for any of you, including you. Would you do the same for me? And them, like, you know, making that amends, kind of. So good. It was so engrossing, I took next to no notes. Like, I've seen this movie before. I saw it when it came out. I was emotionally affected. I vividly remembered a good chunk of the film. Famar and Ray Ray's relationship is portrayed so well here. There's pieces of it where you can see that Ray Ray is trying to be paternal, but then there's moments where it's very obvious that they're brothers and have a very brotherly relationship. But then as time goes on, Ray Ray's stepping into that responsibility as his guardian and father, so to speak. And that's, like, really beautiful to witness and see, and just how they work the things out and how strong Ray Ray is. And then the scene that really got me this time, I don't know if it got me this bad the first time. I know the first time I cried watching this, but I think I cried, like, at the moment you would expect, which is, like, when the NCAA grants the waiver. But this one, the scene that got me was when Ray Ray is having his mother relinquish guardianship of Famar and is taking it himself. Yes, it's very sad, because obviously you can see that Ray Ray's mother doesn't want to give up, like, her guardianship of Famar. It's her baby, it's her child. She very much, you know, is dealing with addiction, which is a very real issue. And she's trying, and, you know, the state is paying for her to continue staying and keep doing this group program that's longer than the 30 days, which is going to help make it stick and all this stuff. And she signs it over. She's sobbing as she signs it over. And after it's done, the woman's like, I'll give you two a moment alone. And she gets up and leaves. And the mom is crying, and she looks at Ray Ray and she goes, you must be so mad at me. And not in like a, you must be so mad at me to be taking my son from me, but you must be so mad at me because you have to do this. And Ray Ray just says, can I have a hug, as he's crying. And in that moment, it's the first moment in the movie where you get to be reminded that Ray Ray is also still a child. Yes, he's 18 or 19 or whatever it is, that because he's starting college. I'm assuming 18. Or maybe just turned 19 or whatever it is. Because he just started freshman year of college. He's not, you know, a full-blown adult. He's still very much a child. I am 32 and sometimes still feel like a child. But definitely at the beginning of college, you don't feel like, you know, you might be all like, I'm an adult now and I can do this, that, and the other, but you don't. You still feel like a kid. You just left home. You want, and he never got to be like a real kid, you know? He had a mom who was an addict and he's the oldest, and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And in that moment, when he looks at his mom and says, can I have a hug? It's the first moment in the movie where he gets to be a kid and ask his mom for a hug. And it, woo, is so good, dude. It's so good. You know how I feel about kids getting to be kids. And this movie is very much Famar getting to be a kid because his brother decides to be an adult. And, like, he is an adult, but you know what I mean. He's still technically a teenager. And it is just that can I have a hug moment. Oh my god. And then she goes over there and she hugs him and they're sobbing and then the scene's over. But, like, he's stepping up and he's doing all of this. He's a student athlete. He's got an apartment where he does some work to make sure he can afford it. He's trying to keep up his grades. He's hitting all his practices, playing, you know, college football, talking to his coaches, trying to have a relationship with a woman, you know, raising his brother, helping his brother, whatever, and then worried about his mom in rehab. Like, and then in real life, you know, we learn he's worried about 6 other siblings. Like, you know, so it is that moment. I don't know what it is about that moment, but for him in that room with just his mom, being able to be a kid for a second and get comfort from his mom it's really good. It's an incredible moment. It's a very, very strong moment in that movie, and it's beautiful. And the movie is very good. And obviously has a very beautiful ending. Ray, you know, made enough money to... I don't know if he went to play professional football, actually. I probably should check, but made enough money to start a foundation. He, you know, took custody of 2 or 3 of his other siblings. At the end of this movie, it shows a picture of Ray and Famar and their mother, and how she had been, at that point, 2 years sober, and they visit her often. Like, come on, that's really good. Jay and Thaddeus are standout in this movie. I think this movie is as good as it is because they hold down the fort. Everyone else in the movie is very good too. I literally have no complaints about any of the actors. They're just... chemistry and ability to portray this are really, really well done. My favorite part is probably when the waiver gets approved, or the can I have a hug scene, because it's so good, but the end is so warm and wonderful. And then my least favorite part, anytime Ray has to be mean because he feels like he has to do everything alone. The fact that he even had, like, you know, I don't know. Probably that, like, I don't know. Just some of the, like, sad reality of this, you know? Recommend 100%. I really enjoy this movie. I think it's very touching. Watch again? I would. I mean, I saw it in 2020 and I obviously watched it for this, and I would definitely revisit. It's very good. I like it a lot. That's pretty much everything I have. It's a solid movie, guys. That's everything I have. My final rating is going to be 8 footballs out of 10. Our total movie count is. Our cry count is. Parent Death Toll is still the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on all socials to find out what movie I'm watching when, and check out my website. I put up videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. I got a tier starting at just $1. You get every video a week early. Tiers above that. Daily trivia, monthly postcards, bonus content, etc. Go check it out. Buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe. But I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so do, and don't be. Probably that one guy about it who was being real creepy to Ray and Famar. He was awful.